Hey, you're probably asking yourself, who's Stan Medina? What is Massive Action? Why does he keep making these videos? What is he trying? What is his message? And so I just wanted to share with you my story really quick. I was born in Bay City, Texas. It's not too far from Houston, Texas. It was my brother and my sister and myself. I'm the youngest. And so at the age of 4, I want to say it was about 4 and a half. I don't know, when I was 4 or 5, somewhere around there. My dad committed suicide. He committed suicide in our backyard. And so shortly after that, within a matter of weeks, my mom decided to move us to Corpus Christi because she had family here in Corpus. And so my mom started working. She got a job at Walmart, and she started working there. So it was basically me, my mom, and my sister. My sister was already in high school. I was still in elementary. And so at a very young age, I just had to, kind of figure life out. I remember just walking home from school. I remember my mom just always being at work, and me just having to learn how to cook for myself. And my mom wasn't a bad mom at all. She just, she knew she had to work. Like, she knew that she had to provide, and she knew that, that's all she knew was to work. And so, I went through elementary, with a very, very having a tough time, with my behavior, with just reading, just comprehending in general. Like, I had no clue of what I was doing in school. I managed to make it through elementary based off of the fact that I was had a learning disability. So basically they just kind of pushed me through the whole elementary system. I remember getting in a lot of trouble. I remember just not really being able to find my rhythm in school. I could never find it. And so when I got to middle school, that it kind of just started snowballing. 6th grade was a different experience for me. It was a whole different environment. My goal, my hopes were to start, in middle school and be able to play sports and kind of be that kid. But I got in trouble again, fights. My grades weren't good. I couldn't find my rhythm again. So I struggled through middle school, and the same process repeated. They were pushing me through the school system. I failed 7th grade. My second year in 7th grade, I was skipping school a lot. My mom was having to leave work a lot to come to my school. I was sent to different schools, like behavior schools. And I remember one evening, my mom, I had skipped school that day. She found where I was at. She went and picked me up. And instead of going home, we went to it was like a counselor's office. I don't even remember what it was, but we walked in and they were asking me all these questions, and they did a drug test on me. During that time, I was hanging around with a lot of older people, and I was exposed to a lot of different drugs. Alcohol, just marijuana, cocaine, just a bunch of different drugs that I was exposed to. And so whenever they did the drug test, I had all these drugs in my system. And mind you, I was in 7th grade. They told my mom that I needed to be in a detention center. They held me for about a year. And I was in this detention center with kids that were trying to commit suicide, had serious drug addictions. It was an experience. I managed to make it through that whole year, and I got back to middle school, and it seemed like nothing really changed with my behavior. I was just more cautious about getting in trouble, so I was a little bit more sneaky about it. If I did something, I made sure that I didn't get caught, because I knew that the consequences were going to be bad. So, but I never dropped my bad behavior. I made it through middle school, and I have to admit, there was a lot of teachers that helped me. They helped me get through that middle school. You know, they supported me, they encouraged me. Made it out of middle school, went to high school. I said, you know, it's a fresh start. I'm gonna do good. I want to play sports. I want to be an athlete. You know, first year in middle school, first year in high school, trouble again. I ended up getting in trouble, and the biggest change in my life was that I was gonna have twin boys in ninth grade. You know, I was gonna have twin boys. So yeah, you know, like from middle school, high school, you kind of become an adult. You're having sex more. You're just kind of like out of control. And I was gonna have twin boys, ninth grade. And I remember the day they told me. It was pretty crazy. But I remember shortly after that, I failed ninth grade again, and I said, you know what, school's not for me. I dropped out of school, was trying to find different jobs. I landed a job at a dealership, and I started off as like a porter, kind of like a shop cleaner. I would clean the shop, I would dump oil, and but what really bothered me was my behavior carried with me. So I was getting in trouble at work. So I was like, man. So I felt it coming that they were gonna fire me. So I went to the body shop side of it, and I asked the manager. I said, "Are y'all hiring? Because I want to get a transfer." And he's like, "You know, yeah, we could probably see what we can do." And so he gave me an opportunity to come in as a porter. You're gonna wash cars. You're gonna clean the shop. You're gonna make sure everything's good. I said, "Okay, I got it." I started with that. Shortly after that, I started becoming like a helper, and from like detailing to prepping cars to helping the bodymen, helping the painters, I just gravitated to all that, and I soon knew that I was good with my hands. So I just continued with that industry, and shortly after that, I was introduced to like custom painting, like candy paint, metal flake, and so I wanted to give it a shot. So I started, you know, trying to custom paint stuff and just learning, and I found that it was kind of like relaxing for me. It was a way for me to express my feelings and everything that I have went through when I was younger. It was a form of expression, and I didn't realize that, but it made me feel good, because whenever I was doing any kind of custom painting, it felt like I was like almost like a therapy. I did custom painting for a very long time. I was recognized as one of the top painters in Texas, and you know, to make a long story short, I started learning about business. I knew I had to be there for my family. I started a business, you know, when I was very, very young, and I just continued growing it over years, just slowly growing it, and it is what it is today, like certified collision works, you know. And so my content is really targeted to technicians that want to make that transformation. You know, they feel like that maybe they don't have the education that they wish they had. Maybe they don't have the resources, you know. And my information and my content is targeted to those technicians or anybody that wants to change their life. So I appreciate y'all listening to my content. I appreciate y'all subscribing to my stuff.